Hello. Right, doing something a little bit different today. We're on Lost Colony again, but I am not on the server I've been playing on. I'm in on single player creative mode. I'm gonna see if we can make a Desmodus trap. I hear that they're in high demand. I did work on one on ASE, and I never did a video for it because there were issues with the anti-mesh system, and I think there's still issues with the whole meshing thing because Razclark had one mesh his Moz chops under the mesh the other day, so that's something we're gonna have to figure out. I've got two ideas. One idea is have it high enough off the ground, um, but the problem is you need like the legs to have no structures around them because then it'll just end up dropping whatever it's picked up. So that's a challenge. The other option is to utilize the water, but that means that you'd have to build it above water. But basically, because a flyer can't fly into the water, that stops it from flying down, but it's like not under the mesh. So that's another option. But for a start, we'll get a tamed one spawned in. And we'll figure out what kind of size trap we need. Summon tamed. Right. So, been a while. Well, I've not done anything with these since ASE, so I need to figure out. I think it doesn't fit between two walls, if I'm remembering correctly. I think that's too narrow for it to fit between. Yeah, so it just can't quite fit between that. So I want to find out what it does fit between. I've only seen them in that ginormous cave. Are they out in the open? No, they're only in caves. I will probably do some testing, checking out the caves and stuff later, but I'm just going to work out in the open for now, spawning stuff in, because when I'm making traps, they tend to end up all over the place, so I need a bit of open space to work with. But I will do some testing in the caves. I might even have to go onto official to do some testing to make sure that it's working okay with the anti-mesh. It depends what design I end up going with, though. We'll see. So let me think, how can we do this? I need to figure out what size it'll fit between. Exciting times ahead. Maybe. Right, let's try this just out of interest. So I'm guessing it's going to slot in between there. Yeah, so it gets in there up to that point, which means that, yeah, it only just doesn't quite fit between two walls. Just trying to think if there's a way. doesn't really matter actually. No, we'll work. Yeah, we'll work with that. So now what I need to do is figure out how I can get this up off the ground. So I want it like high enough that that if it's holding a creature, its feet, well, it's not gonna mesh the creature, or it's not gonna mesh the person that it's carrying, the player. So it's probably gonna have to be like the height of these walls up here. So I've got to figure out how I can get it up there. Just thinking something like, if it was like above that, and then what if we did this? Just a bit of testing at the moment. So that it goes, see, it's slotting between there. And now those legs are going to be like not obstructed by, well, they are obstructed by structures at the moment. There's those structures down there that are a bit in the way, but I can get those out of the way. So at that point, it'd be like free. Its legs would be free. And then I just need to figure out how I can get it caught in there. I suppose this, it doesn't need those on both sides. This could be a barn door. Actually snaps to that. That could be a barn door. Oh no, wait, hang on. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, so if that flies in there, and then that's going to open the wrong way, though, isn't it? That whistled so that it doesn't fly away. That opens there. Is that going to be able to fly? Right, that can fly out of there, so I need to prevent that. Right, let's start from scratch. I've got a bit of something working there now, but I need to start this again. Maybe. So that's how I'm going to trap it in. That's going to be a bit awkward to reach, though. That's quite high to reach. So we're going to need some stairs to get up to that, which I might as well have it built off of that then. And then we can get rid of the other bits. And then maybe we just put that on there, get rid of this. Oh, no. Oh, because that doesn't snap to that, does it? Right. Let's just get rid of that and build it again. So... barn door. Let's just get rid of that beam. Right, barn door. Right, the barn door won't go on there, so I need a beam on that. So that can go on there, but then this doesn't snap to this, and that doesn't snap to that. I don't want any structures down there. I could go like this, though. And then let's just do this for now. And will that go on there, but upside down? Doesn't seem to want to, does it? Let's do that on there, and then that on there. I'll simplify this later. I'll just place whatever structures work for now. So that on there. Might need to do... I don't want it escaping out of the top of that. Unless... Let me just see if it'll escape. If I do... Double dot. Watching a genius. How's it going, Maximus? You doing well? A door on there. Let's set that to always out, which is that way. Right, now it's a question of whether it can fly out of there. Ooh. Ugh. Come on. Right, so get there, open the doors, and that seems to be pretty stuck there. Right, we might have cracked it already. Might be a short stream. Bit hungover, but all good. Fair enough. I built this in a bit of a weird place, haven't I? It's not a very good place to lead a Desmodus from. I'm wondering if this might get a bit in the way, though. Maybe it would be better. I mean, we could test it, but I'm wondering if it'd be better to do 2 of the shallower ramps going up to that. We'll give it a go, I suppose. See what happens. Summon Desmodus. Oh, picked me up already. Come on, put me down. Let's just get rid of that one. Get a new one. And try not to get picked this time. Oh, I need to figure out a better way to do that. Can't even destroy this while I'm here. My target. Right. Is it gonna follow me? Okay, that's in there, and then we'll go like that, and that's picked me up. That seems quite nice. That seems okay so far. Not in the mesh. That's not going to be an issue. Let's get a Daedon. I like Daedons for this job. And let's give it infinite stats. bits so it doesn't die. And then stick that there. Don't know if that's close enough. Yeah, it is close enough. Right, it did drop it. I think that was because it hit some structures. This is the problem that we need to avoid. It could have been this ramp. Or I could do a ramp and then a ceiling. That'd be even better. Right, it's holding it quite high though, and it might be okay. Oh, you can go on passive. Yeah, that might work. Got an important question. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, got an important question you might be able to help with, Cap. So my snow in Lost Colony is not reacting to me. Tried huge foliage thing, but I can't find it on Xbox. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Maybe someone else will know. But I don't know. Is Lost Colony any good? I think it just comes down to preference. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but I think most people are enjoying it. How are we going to use the trap in a cave, though? Why would you not be able to use it in a cave? Do you mean if cave building's turned off? You'd have to lead it out of the cave if you can't build in the cave. It seems to be doing okay with that. I want to try my player again. I'm a bit stuck here. It's picked me off. I'll just have to wait for that to drop that. Unofficials, you can't build in cave and the bats don't follow you out, do they not? I saw Rasclark was taming one out of a cave. And he's unofficial. It's been a while. Cap's still rocking the trap videos. I've not been doing enough of them. I've got loads of traps. And not many videos at the moment. I need to start getting them out of my head and into videos. I don't know what's going on with this now. It doesn't seem to be picking it up. Yeah, not sure what's going on there. I suppose I could start with a triangle foundation, actually. Let's build a new one over here. So if we were to start triangle foundation, stone roof, and then a ceiling will probably help. Double doorway, door, and then do with that on there. Is that not placing because of that? Yeah, so that'll place there if that's not there. Oh, hello. That's not got foundation support though. But I could build that the other way around. We could do that and then that. Is there any way I could do this with a pillar actually? Pillar. High as it'll go. Then that like that. Then a ceiling. Because I'm already using pillars for the beams, so might as well keep it the same. that. Oh no, that needs to be down at the bottom actually, doesn't it? Yeah, that's going to have to be down there. I don't think there's any way to get around that, but then I need that. Problem is I need that upside down. Still got me as primary arc trap builder, thank you. How can I do that? Let me just check something. I don't think this will work, but I'm just wondering if I can get a beam. No, it won't go there. So that'd have to go there. Let me just confirm that doesn't hold that. Oh, it does hold that up. So once you've got one there, it'll stay. So that's like in its simplest form. But it's a matter of what order you build that in. I don't know if that's high enough off the ground actually. It might be. Don't think that's going to allow me to snap that either, is it now? How else could I do that? Could do... I don't think anything else is going to do a good job of that. I think that's the best way to do it with one of those. It's just a question of what order I do that in then. Have to do... That's a tricky one, is that? Don't know. You got my sub on the castle build back in the day that speed build was epic. Oh, that's a long time ago. This rock's a bit in the way. I've got a rocket launcher there. That'll get rid of it. Hopefully. Here we go. Right. Let's give this a go then. Oh, it picked me. Oh, it's dropped me. It's picked me. The other one's picked me. Let's just destroy this one. I've got myself a bit turned around here. Right. Follow me. Yeah, it's got distracted. Destroy. Why can I not destroy wild dinos when it's... Oh, is it because it's in... It's taming progress in it? That's why. Started the taming thing. That's a bit annoying. Thanks, Karen. Are you all having a good year so far? Can I spawn that above me and then... Oh, they're so quick. Right, that's in there. And then trap that like that. See, that bumped into the structures then and dropped me. That seems to be okay, though. If it works like most of the time, then it's okay. It's a little bit higher than I would have liked, though. I want it to go down lower than that. I mean, it's kind of working, but I'm not happy with how efficient that's going to be. It's because it's to the left, which means it's allowing it to go higher. I wonder if I need to do this with the other triangle for better effectiveness. Let's right, we've got that build there. Let's do a new one. So for this to be more effective, let's start. Oh, I was going to start with the pillar actually, wasn't I? Let's start with a pillar. Like that. And that like that. I wonder if actually that might be better as one of these. Because you're going to be coming from this side, you can go up like that a little bit easier. That like that, same as before. I wonder actually whether it'd be better to go just straight down from there like that. See, you're like going like that. That might be easier. Less chance of escape. It's just a question of... It's that corner though that's the problem. Not a big fan of that. That's going to be too close. I could do something like that, which would bring that a little bit further away. Maybe I'll go back to what I had. I think it's going to be more reliable. Don't know. I'll have to do some more testing with that. We'll go with that for now. Would the drop mechanic need more ground clearance if you were slightly higher? Would that clear the drop box? I think the clearance off the ground isn't an issue. The only issue is if you get meshed under the ground and you've got anti-mesh turned on, that can be an issue. But that doesn't cause it to drop it or anything. It's the actual structures that cause it to drop you too early. If you collide with a structure, it'll make you drop. Right, what I need, I think, is... Unless I did... Hang on, can... Oh no, that won't do that. Let me just try something else. That was like that. That like that. I was wondering about this, but I'd probably have to have some kind of funnel into it then to help it get into there. That's a bit ugly. But that would probably help. Need to get it pushed as far this way as possible. Unless there's some other way. What if I used this instead? Would that help? Just wondering about going like that, getting it into the trap. Same as my my new owl trap uses that kind of thing. That would be easier instead of going up the side here. But it's just that that's not going to hold it far enough in this way. So I would need that to be, I don't know. That would mean I could have that. I wouldn't need that ceiling actually then. Let me rebuild this from scratch. So let's just start nothing and we'll go pillar, beam, another beam unless we try, let me just try something half beam. And then that there, then a half pillar there. Problem is this isn't snapping upside down. I want that to snap upside down, which means I've got to have a beam like that, which is a little bit annoying. Unless that's the way forward, just like that without the... Maybe I don't even need those. I mean, they are going to help it get slightly lower. But maybe I could get away with that. So it flies in there. We open that. Is that going to be able to... That's going to be able to fly out of the bottom then, though, isn't it? Or is it? No, but it's going to be able to fly out the side. I don't think it'll get out of the bottom, but I think it'll slot out that way. Definitely will, yeah. Which it means would need another one of those on there. Or they're going along there. That's probably the best option like that, I think. If it works. Although that's not going to be able to fly on top of that, is it? That's the problem. No, that's not going to work. Fence foundation, then build up to block. Not sure what you mean. Yeah, that's not going to work because it's not going to fly over that. That's going to block it from actually flying in there, which means this design doesn't work at all. That can't be there. It would have to be open and turned the other way. and then closed, but then it's not going to pick stuff up then. I don't think, or is it? Maybe we could spawn one here and see. That was there, and then that got closed. Oh, that's underneath that now, though. See, this is what wouldn't work on official, because you'd be dealing with the anti-mesh. It'd keep teleporting you out. Say hello from Brazil. Hello from Brazil. From the pillar along the ground, then up. A fence foundation. Why would what's the fence foundation for the? And what I'm trying to avoid is having any structures at that height. Like, I need it to be as little obstruction as possible. I can't have any structures like round here because I don't want to collide with them. You'll have to show me, I don't know what you mean. You'll have to send me a picture or something. Hello, Captain. Hello. Welcome. Right, is there any other way we could do this? What about using these? Would this help at all? We could, like, force it downwards. That was like that, but without this one. And it was like forced down to a point. No, that's a stupid idea. I think we were closest with this kind of setup. It's just that it needs to get lower on there. There's no way I could do that. It'd be so much nicer if I could open that door from the bottom, but I just don't see how I could make that work. No, it's not going to work, that. It's got to be a door that opens from the side. Or the top, it could be. Which is what I actually had on my ASE trap that I was working on. It had a thingy on the top to trap it in. I can't remember why. Oh, yeah, I do know why. It was because I couldn't use doors on ASE. They were I was limited to what structures I could use. We didn't have like half walls and stuff, so yeah, I had to have a hatch frame on top, but that's not an issue now because it's a completely different setup I'm using now. Create below to allow you to... No, because that'd get... I can't be using a wooden structure because it'll just get damaged and broken. It's got to be stone structures. Also, I have a rule when it comes to trap designing that everything must snap. So this was the closest. I just need a way to keep it further in this way, which forces it down as low as possible. Unless I can somehow... I could have a funnel that forces it down. And then I could use... it's coming to me, it's coming to me. I'm figuring it out. I could use railings. Oh, if it slots in there, that'd be so nice. Oops. Try again. So if we can slot the Desmo in there. It's going to be tricky to aim this. Maybe I should just build a funnel. Or in fact, if I just go like that and like that. Oops. Actually quite hard to aim that. There we go. No, it doesn't fit. Right, let's try... Instead of that, we go thick pillars or beams like that. Right, that'll slot in there. Now, I should be able to use the control. That's not going up or down. When I'm trying to like fly up and down, that's not moving at all, which is good because that means that this is as low down as that can get to those pillars. Yeah, that's good. So that'll give us a good chance of forgotten what I'm saying. Can I actually put that on there? Is that still gonna... Let me just test that. Is that gonna be able to slot in there? Ah, no, that doesn't slot in there. Maybe I just do... Diagonal fence going up off the horizontal. I don't really like to use them because they can be a bit faffy. Getting the correct angle, people would mess up on that with the videos, so I try to avoid using them. It can be hard work to place in the right place. People don't understand how to use like snap cycling and stuff, so yeah, I just avoid that for traps. there's a lot of things that like would be good for traps, but it's just not worth the hassle of people struggling to place them. So I could do that though. But you see, I can go up and down here, which is what I don't want, allowing me too much freedom to move around. In fact, I can just fly out of there. What about if I had... Can I get this on here? It's like the snap point's there, but it's skipping over it. Oh, saw it then. Unless it's easier to place the other way around. If I do that first, can I place... Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this, so it's a little bit messy, this. But we'll pursue the idea. It's always worth testing. Why will that not go in there, though? I thought that would have gone in there, to be honest. Might have to do a thin one, then. I was expecting that to work, but it doesn't. Right, that can go like that. Still got a little bit of movement, you see, up and down, which is why it was better with those thicker pillars. But if I'm going to use those, then I need a different way instead of this door to block it in. Thanks, OMG Dawn. How is your 2026 going so far? Has it been a good start to the year? A ramp going up from those pillars. It's a bit tricky to understand what you've got in your head when it's just in text form. I'd kind of need to see it, really. It's too hard to understand what you mean. And it's hard to understand what you're trying to achieve with it as well. So yeah, that's the best way that we can get this as low down as possible. So that's nice and tight in there, but we just need a way to block that in now. So I'm wondering, let me just see if I do... That won't snap to that, will it? If I do that and then that, and that needs to open the other way. Is that going to be low? No, that's not low enough to block it in. Or is it? Yeah. No. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see if it'll fly in there. That'll tell us. That is. That is low enough to block it in. Ramp coming down from top pillars to lower pillars. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's really hard to understand, like, what you're trying to achieve with. I know you're all trying to help, but it's just really hard to like. There's so many pillars that when you say from the pillars, it's like I don't know which pillars we're talking about. I don't know which direction we're talking about. It's a bit confusing. Railings at an angle. I was saying, I don't know if you just got here, but I was saying that I tried to avoid using railings at an angle on trap designs because they can be a bit finicky to place, and people don't know that there's like a snap cycle button, even though it tells you on the screen. They don't know. So you got to keep it nice and simple to build. So I avoid using those. So that would actually trap it in there. And it would have plenty of clearance underneath there. It's just that that's up quite high, which would mean I'd have to go all the way up to the top of there, which isn't ideal. So I don't really like that. But what other option have I got? Definitely can't have that at the bottom, can I? I won't mind just checking if that was like that. It flies in there and then you close that. I'm curious to know whether that causes issues. Right, I'm assuming that can fly in there okay. Oh no, it can't. Can't actually fly in there. Oh, that's not going to work anyway then, is it? Unless that's because... Oh, it probably would if those pillars were thin pillars. Maybe I should test that just out of interest. Switch those for thin ones. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Pillar bug that's never been fixed. Oops. So, that like that. And then, if you were to close that, that shouldn't be able to move now. It's a question of whether that causes issues. I'd have thought that that's going to cause issues, but we won't know unless we give it a go. I'm not sure if it's going to fly in here okay, but we can try. Ugh. Right, come on. Go on. Yeah. Right, let's see what happens. I don't think it's even going to see me, is it? And it might be able to see me, but it's not able to pick me up. I think even if I go up here so it can pick me up, I think it'll just end up dropping me straight away. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work that. I didn't think it would, but you gotta check. If Desmo goes to that trap and grabs you, your mouse chops won't mesh you to the ground. That's what I'm trying to avoid, is building it high enough off the ground that it doesn't mesh you. That's what, so this design that I did here, it's like high enough that it doesn't mesh you. What's my Discord? I think it's in the description of the stream. I think there's a link to it. So yeah, that didn't work. Let's switch these back to the chunky ones. Can I do this? Does that help? That might work, actually. Just doing it at that height. If that was open the other way. So it flies in there. Close that. That should, in theory, block that in. That might work. I wonder if you could actually do it without those pillars, even. I bet you could, you know. Let's give this a go, see what happens. Went too low. Need like a something to guide it in there. Right, that's in there. Need to close that. Come on, put me down. Oh, it's flown out. It's the trouble. Oh, it's the trouble closing that. Right, just need to see if it can get out of there. Oops. I should have walked away then and I didn't. Ah, give me a chance to walk away. It's working too well, is this? I wonder if that could actually be a problem. That it keeps picking you up. I wonder if I need to build it up even higher so that when it drops you, you can walk away if you want. And there's some kind of platform where it can pick you up from if you do want to continue. Although for the tame, you would probably always want it to pick it up. I don't know. Little ramp that attaches to end of thin pillars so it makes it fly high. Yeah, I need to do some kind of funnel thing. But let's try this dead on. Yeah, we need more control really of when we're putting things in position. Let's see what happens with that. That's not bad. It's just closing that door that's a bit of a problem. Seems functional though. Just give it a chance to pick it up again. It seems to be okay, does that? It's like not hitting the structures from what I can tell. Hey, hello Baha. How's it going? Yeah, my main concerns are closing that door up at the top and being able to run away when you don't want it to pick you up again. So that's quite annoying. Would it be better to swap the door and the beams so the door is easier to reach? I can't. This is the problem. It won't hold things if the door's underneath it. It'll pick you up, but then it'll just drop you instantly. You can't have any obstruction between the middle of the Desmo and what it's carrying. It needs to be completely unobstructed. If you hit any structures, then it just drops you. That's why we need like all this clearance underneath the trap. This part seems to be going okay though. But yeah, some adjustments are needed. I had this design that I was doing before, which worked okay-ish, but it wasn't getting it low enough. It was like, well, it was sometimes okay, because it flies in here, but then when the doors open, it can fly like to this point, and then it can fly up too high. So I want something where it's forced as low as it can possibly get, because if it's too high, that increases the chances of you hitting the structures and being dropped. Try crawling, perhaps. Nah, it'd still reach you. You lay down beside your tame, it should get grabbed even if the Desmo is targeting you. How else could I do this? I could... Hang on, I could do... I could do... the door there. Possibly. I don't think it'll fit in with those pillars being there, though, is the problem. I think they'd have to be replaced for the thin ones, and then that gives it more freedom to fly upwards. Is that flying out of there? Looks like it's escaping. Might not be. Let me just think. So if that was like that, and then that was open, but then I closed it, that might be easier. But that it's not in a great place though, because I'd have to walk all the way over to here, and that's going to if it's aggroed on me, that's going to increase the chance of it flying out of there. That's not a good idea, really. I could do a ramp on the back of here. Like the whole thing could be, or even could be built off a ramp like there. I don't know what would work best, or we go for... No, we can't do that, but we can do... we can do that. And then set that to what it was originally. Open out, because I don't really like changing those because it's just an extra complication to put in the video that people could easily miss. So that starts like that. You get it in the trap, run up here, close that. Quarter railings have sloped versions now. Yeah, I've said this like 3 times now, but you've only just got here. But I don't like to use sloped railings for trap designs because they're a bit finicky to place. People always struggle with stuff like that, and people don't realise that you can like cycle snap points and stuff like that, and they'll always place them at like the wrong angle. And I've learnt that when it comes to trap designs, you've just got to keep it as simple as possible with the placement. Drew a design on my Discord. Hang on, I'll have a look. Oh yeah, just for helping it to get in. Yeah, I was thinking of something like that. I've just not got to that part yet because I'm focusing on other aspects of it before that's like the icing on the cake to help it to get into the trap. Make them a blueprint for the hammer. Yeah, I'll always be doing that with my traps now. So where was I? So if this was... Maybe I'll build a new one, I think. Let's just get rid of that. I think I'll build a new one. So if I was to go like this, and I'm going to try doing one up high. Maybe go like that. And then that on there. That'll be opened up. Not everyone will be able to use the blueprint though, like people on console can't just like download the blueprint, they've got to make it and then save it themselves. I can't really rely on that. Right. So something like that. Flies in there. Close that. That'll push it down a bit and block it in, hopefully. It's a bit higher off the ground, but I don't think it's going to be high enough that you can run away. Maybe it might help a bit, though. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Uh, we're definitely going to need some kind of funnel on that, though, now, with it being higher off the ground. But the problem is, they're going to go too low. Yeah, they're going to go too low. That's the problem with having it down that height. I don't think I can do anything about that. Because I can't have any structures below this, because then they're going to be like obstructing. I can only have a top funnel. I can't really have a bottom funnel. Not that I can think of. Like, it'd need to be there, but even if you didn't have that there, that wouldn't, the other one would still be obstructing too much. Don't remember with default structures, are there sloped pillars or that? No, there's no sloped pillars. Ramp on ends of pillars. I can't do. I mean, then it's not even going to snap that way around, but it'd have to be like this if I was going to do that. That's the best we could do. But even that, I don't like. Even that's going to cause a bit of problems, I think. It probably won't be too bad, but it's the cost of it as well. Ramps are expensive. Just for the sake of that, it's not worth it. I mean, we could try it for now, for the sake of testing. Oh, it's picked me. Put me down. Right. Oh, is it? Oh, let's just have to destroy that one. Oh, that got through there. Why did that get through there? That's strange. I wouldn't have thought that would fit through there. Interesting. That just shows how close it is to fit in between two walls. That means that so each creature they have like a capsule that determine what size they can fit between. That means that the Desmos is exactly 3 meter diameter, which is the size, the width of a foundation, because it fits between these, but it doesn't fit between the pillars because they're slightly different because of the thickness of the pillar. That's interesting. Yeah, makes sense though, like exactly 3 meters diameter. But yeah, that's not gonna work doing that. I'd have to put something else on there, like railings, to fix that. And then it's getting a bit stuck on there. Oh, because I need to open that, don't I? Yeah, so that flies in there. Then close that, and then it's trapped. Yeah, it's a bit of a ugly setup as that. Top is bumping the... It's down below the pillar. Yeah. But yeah, them ramps won't help on their own anyway. I don't think there's anything else that could be done about that. Just don't really want that rail in there. It's a bit in the way. I want some nice clearance here to work with. Which means I can't be having those. Which means I need to build this lower down, really. It would have been nice to have it that height. The only thing I can think that we could do is having, instead of doing it off the ground, we could have another one of these, have it open, and when it's grabbing you, if you don't want it to, maybe you could close that while it's holding you, and that would force it to drop you. But probably not worth it. Alright, let's do this again then. So instead of that, we'll just go... Although we need to go up a bit higher than that, don't we? We're going to have to go to that height. That's too high to walk up there, though. What was this one like? Maybe it's better to start just at like that height. And we could go, let's just keep it simple with these. So up with 2 of those. Then that on there. That on there. And those on there. That starts like that. And then question of whether we need some kind of funnel on that now. That should be easy enough to do that though. Let's see how easy it is to get it in there then. That flew under that time. Maybe it needs to be lower down. I don't want it too low. See, that's like full wall height off the ground. Could you do 2 half pillars across the front so you can put a half pillar down in the middle of them? 2 half pillars across the oh, you mean here? You mean like that? It won't let it in if that's what you mean. And it won't let it in if I do it on the top half as well. It's same problem. The other side. Here. It needs to get up above to stop the fly through. I mean, that might stop it from flying through, but it doesn't help because it needs to fly above this height is the issue. We need to get it up higher before it gets to that point. I could... No, that didn't work because... No. Like, the best I could do, really, is like... Not even going to give me that snap point. Apparently it can't snap on that side. Oh, does it not snap to those? I guess it doesn't snap to those. Best we can do is like that. But I don't like that because these corners are sticking out. Which would mean we'd have to build further out this way for that to work. Just straight down pillar. We can't have any pillars going straight down from any of this because if it touches, if you touch any of those when you're being held, it'll just drop you. So we need this like completely free underneath here. Use the ramp instead of the roof. It's not going to help. And possibly do that. I'd be interested to know if it bumps into that. I'd be interested to know if that forces it up above there. Like, this isn't necessarily a good design, but I'm just intrigued to know. I mean, that flew higher that time. Yeah, that's what happens when you hit the structures. You see it drops you. Now I'm like glitched into the structure and it can't even pick me up. Oh, I'm okay. It's gonna drop me when it gets to that structure. That's the problem. I think it's a bit too high as that. Even though I've closed those doors, I thought that that might force it down, but it hasn't. It's just trapped it in there. So we still need those thicker pillars on here to solve that problem. That'll force it lower down. Seems easy enough to trap it anyway. Don't know why it dropped me that time. I didn't hit any structures. What's this? A baby Carno. Right, that seems a lot better now. I'm a lot lower down now. Like, well away from the structures. Oh. That... don't know why that was then. I think it's also when its legs are clipping into structures, possibly. Unless the ASA version is bigger, Desmodus capsule is 290. Right, that makes sense. Yeah, it seems to be dropping me quite a bit still. I wonder what it's not like in there, because I'm not hitting any structures. Can't even pick me up. Or was it not trying to pick me up? Even if it drops you a few times, still easier than no trap. Yeah. But I still want it to be as good as it can be. I don't know if it's trying... Is it trying to pick me up or is it trying to hit me? I think it's just trying to hit me, isn't it? But yeah, that it dropped me then. It might be because the feet are glitching into those structures. You're hitting the ground. No, that won't affect it. It doesn't drop you when you hit the ground. Any other ways I could do this? flaw in the science is not using the default character yokai is like a third of the size. Probably should test it with different size characters. I've got Bay's character, I think. I could test it with Bay's massive character. Like 3 times taller than mine. Looks like the Desmo legs are clipping the pillars, causing it to drop when it turns. Yeah. Just trying to think how else I could do it. Yeah, I could change my character, yeah. I'd like to get it working with my own character before I test any other ones though. Don't think character size matters, it's creature size. Hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Just a sec, I just need to send a message. Um, what was saying? Don't think character size matters, it's creature size, because that's the reason you want to trap it. It could affect it though, possibly. I wouldn't have thought it'd have much impact, but it's possible that it does affect it in some way. Problem is, how do we do this without having those pillars? Like, they're the thinnest thing in the game. Or maybe that's just how it's got to be. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It picks you up pretty quickly again afterwards. So maybe it's not that big of a problem. Let's test this out. Don't know if that's close enough. There we go. Go on, pick it up. That seems like it's working okay. I think I'm happy enough with how this door's working. I'm not happy with funneling it into the trap yet though. I need to figure this out better. Water walls instead of beam pillar may solve. Nah, it's going to be worse as quarter walls. Like, we need as little obstruction as possible. Thin beams are the thinnest thing I could use. Alright, let's get rid of that and have a think about how we can improve this then. I think it's good enough, is that. Like, I can't think of any way to do that better so that it doesn't drop you. The only way that I can think of is utilising water, but I don't really want to do that. Like, that would allow me to, because the Desmo can't fly into the water, that would allow me to, like, get it as close down to the water as possible. And then, hang on, it's hard to describe. Let me see if I can demonstrate. So, if you had something like this, so imagine it flies in here. Because it can't fly into water, it can't fly underneath this pillar. You get it just the right limit. And then trap it in somehow so that it can't fly out. And then that would mean that it's like completely unobstructed around its feet then. But it requires water to do that. And I don't think all the caves have water. Have you had tea? I have. Went to the pub. In other traps it didn't drop you. What other traps? I could do like a ramp here that you run over. But I feel like there's got to be a better solution. Yeah, I could do something like that. It's whether they're going to be in the way. Well, I could put those pillars back on there even, so that I don't have that problem. Just seems a bit overcomplicated, this. Oh no, I can't actually snap those to that, can I? That doesn't work. Go like that. What about triangle sloped ceilings or something? Make a fly in and up kind of trap. It seems to want to. The problem is I've got to keep it completely clear under its feet. So I can't be like flying up because then that's going to mean that there's structures under its feet. Got to keep this nice and clear. Interregions would love to see this in progress. I've not heard from him for a long, long time. That'd probably work, but it just seems a bit complicated, does that? Gotta be an easier solution than that. I wonder if it would get stuck if you were to do... that. I wonder if that'd help. Let's give that a go. Get a good run up. Oh, didn't quite make it. Gonna have to move them out of the way. Actually looked like it was flying in at a good height there. Like it might not even need those bits. It might have just been, I don't know. Let's try that again. Why is that not summoning? Oh, messed up the thing. Oh, it caught me. What's it doing? Try again. It's too high. I think I need to lead one from further away to experience this properly. Come on. Oh, it just went under, did that. But maybe if... Maybe it does just need a bit of something on there. I mean, might as well just do full pillars because they cost the same as half pillars. Maybe it does just need that to solve the problem. I just wish there was a simpler solution though. Unless we can go closer to the ground. I don't want to get meshed, but maybe we can go a bit closer to the ground and that'd solve the problem. Made a bit of a mess of that one. Right, somehow got in though. Let me just see what height I'm at when I get picked up here. See, I'm almost touching the ground. I could probably go a little bit lower, but not much lower. I wouldn't really want to go lower than that, I don't think. Beam in the floor. Don't know. Oh, there's got to be a way to do this. And other character sizes, yeah. That's why I'm thinking I don't want to go any lower than that. This is like the best balance of height off the ground, what I've got now, I think. Gotta be a simpler solution. I just don't know what it is. This is the kind of thing that, like, I'll just have to play around with for hours until I get it right. I feel like we're close though with this design. Just needs some simplification. Hang on, I'm gonna have to translate that message. I don't know what that says. You have very good traps. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to all. Thank you. There's gotta be some easier way to get it, to force it to go higher. Shame we can't just like have this beam at an angle going down. It'd be so nice. Solve all my problems. Can you go through it while riding Desmo? No. It'll trap you. You get stuck here. Or do you mean go underneath? I mean ride a Desmo underneath? You'd get stuck on those pillars, but if they went there, then you'd be okay. Probably would be good to test that, actually. Leading one in with another Desmo. I might see what happens if I take those away. I'd be interested to see what happens. I'm wondering if even those beams might help the situation here. Let's give this a go. We spawn one in and then get it to follow me. That went too high. Oh, it's picked me. Me down. Missed me. Let's try again. That's in. Let's try it again. Oh. Oh, it went around that time. Come on. Need to get more of a run up than that. Maybe it needs a better funnel system, like a wider one as well. That's in. So it's not too bad to trap it. I wonder if those thin pillars there are helping at all. I should test it without those. What about railings? Can you slope snap? There's not. The problem is there's nothing to snap them to there. Like I'd have to have pillars going down to snap them to, which I can't really have. Let's try this again then without those. Just like that. Open that up. See that? Like bounced up above then. That one got a bit stuck somehow. That went underneath. That went underneath. Definitely need some kind of funnel for this. Make life easier. That's in. So it's doable, but it's not easy enough. I'm not happy with that. What if the beam pillars go in the ground instead of floating ones? Where? I don't know what you mean. Keep the thin pillars and add a ramp sloped up attached to the trapdoor. That only helps. Well, that I can't really do that actually. It won't go in the trap if there's a ramp there. I'd have to have a beam to attach it to for a start. But it won't go in the... If that's there, it won't go in the trap, so I can't have that. A U shape in the ground? Why would I do that? What are we trying to achieve? If you do 2 half beams in the front 2 corners, would that work for both the Desmos? 2 half beams in the front 2 corners. Are you talking about off this? Beam or pillar? Like a pillar? You mean like that? On the opposite side? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. It's a bit confusing trying to understand building in text description form. Forward side. I don't know what you mean, sorry. The other end of the trap. Beam downwards. What for? I don't understand what we're trying to achieve. What's... I don't know. I need to know what we're trying to do before you explain what it is. See, ideally, I'd like to be able to... I'd like a funnel that funnels it up from the bottom and in from the sides. So what's the simplest way that I can do that? I mean to say the vertical beam that holds the U-shape beams, if you extend that vertical beam downwards on both corners, the vertical beam, so this pillar, that's holding the U-shaped beams, or do you mean this one? That's holding the U-shaped beams if you extend that vertical beam downwards on both corners. But what for? I don't understand what we're trying to achieve. Like that. But what? Why? I, I don't understand what that's for. What would that do? We need to get it. The funnel needs to be on this end, not on the back. Would it make us go through and not? It doesn't help though. The Desmo needs to be above these pillars. It doesn't help if it's underneath. I mean the beams. It needs to be above these beams. If it's below these beams, then it's not going to be trapped. It's just going to fly straight back out. It needs to be above these so that this traps it in. Um, so that'd do that, but then we need... Hmm. Not there. Just trying to imagine where it might be like a funnel. So that'd help a lot with the vertical. If we could get something like that. I think it should fit through there. If we only have that on that side. If it was on that side, it wouldn't fit, but it should fit with just the one side. I'll just confirm that. Oh, no, it doesn't. I lie. Oh, no, it does. I don't know why it got stuck on there. Oh, seems okay now. Oh, there we go. It's got stuck again. Anyway, it fits. But it'd be nice to have something that helps horizontally as well. What if... I'm just thinking about my griffin trap. That's got like this kind of shape to it with these, and that's like a funnel, forces it in to that point. But we'd need something up a bit higher than that. So it'd have to be like there. I probably wouldn't need... Do it anyway. That on there. So imagine it goes there. What if it goes too low? Can we have same kind of setup down here? That's a nice funnel. I like that funnel. You saved me so many hours with your traps. You're the Gorton, such a creative person. Thanks. Good to hear that I've helped. Now the problem is it's not going to fit through there. But I could get rid of that and get rid of that. And that should... In fact, that doesn't need to be as tall as that, does it? For this design. Let's put that like that. And that like that. Let's just put those on just for now, just to simplify it. Right, can it fly through there? Probably not. Nah. But maybe if we got rid of those walls, will it fly through now? Ooh, yeah. We might be getting somewhere. That'd be a nice funnel, that. That'd really help to navigate it into the right place. Right, let's just demo this, because that's a bit of a failure, that one. Yeah, I like this setup. Just have to figure out how I can make that, tie that into this now. If I can somehow link that up, that'd be really nice. Kind of need to have, because we can't have, hang on, let me think about this. Need to get rid of them walls. I wonder if that's it. I don't really want these here though. Hang on, let me see what other options we've got with this. I could use those. That would allow me to run through. Foundation back and put a pillar down and pick up foundations. I try to avoid picking up foundations if possible. And I probably won't use these foundations anyway. This is just for ease of testing at the moment. It'll all change. I want this whole thing, well, these structures, I want these to be like hanging off these structures really, without the foundations. I just have to figure out how to do that. Probably going to need some triangle ceilings. I just don't want this to get expensive is the other issue. Like I know I can do this, but it's just a question of keeping it simple. Like I can do that and then that'll attach to Is that not attached to that? No. Suppose that could be a half. Probably want it a bit further away than that, though. Yeah, I don't like how complicated it's getting, but if it works, if it's very functional, and it's worth putting in the effort to build it, I suppose. Just meant to keep it square, but too easy. I'm not sure what you mean. Only issue would be you can't build in caves on PvE for PvP. It could work, I suppose. Well, I saw Rasclark lead one out of a cave on official PvE, so I don't think it's that much of an issue. Pillar trap in the other side now, like the other trap. I don't know yet. We'll see. Yeah, it's a nice funnel we've got. Just have to figure out. Oh, thank you for the 5, is that Australian dollars, I think? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Did you ever seen the Nomad's Reaper trap? Teleporting Reapers to the trap using races? No, I don't think I saw that. Is that on ASA? What am I even doing now then? No, I've not seen that. I'll have to have a look for that. My brain's not working very well right now. Like, a bit confused. You know what I could do? I think it'd simplify things if that was on there and that was on there. In fact, I don't think I need that one. Just build round from there. Like that. And then I suppose that would mean that I don't even need that. In fact, would that... Maybe we can do this like... this, and then we don't need that. Oops. Try that again. So that on there. That on there, that on there, that on there, that on there. That on there. Right, that's simpler. Still need to get rid of a few bits here. But that's a possible way. Well, I'm not actually going to have that wall there, am I, so... I don't know. I could do with building it off this, really. I'm going to have to put the foundation support here, though. Get rid of that. Oh, you're joking. I hate pillars when they do that. Stupidest bug in the game. It's now 10 UK, got a bounce, got work in the morning. I'll watch the rest tomorrow. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Catch you later. Have a good sleep. Right. That on there. That on there. That on there. And there. Those like that. And that like that. That on there. Suppose it would be simpler to build if it was like that. Is that going to be more structures than the just thinking it'd be simpler to build. Like that and not have that one, but I think that is one extra structure. It does simplify things. It looks cooler. So then you could build those pillars first. Oh well, that's not important right now. So what we need is... Can we get... Problem is that doesn't actually snap to there, does it? Maybe we do need to go... like that. And like that. It's just, I'm not going to have a nice clear path to run through there, which I don't really like. It's okay if you're using a flyer. Well, actually, it's not, because I want to be able to fly under there, don't I? With the Desmo. Maybe it's better to not have the top part of the funnel. You don't really want it flying underneath, though. There's no perfect solution here. Oops. Will that stay up if I pick that up? No, it won't. Need to get rid of that at least. Which means I'd have to attach this side as well. It's just a bit too complicated as this. I mean, probably need to do these as well, ideally. That should hopefully work, but it's just way too complicated. But sometimes it's good to build something complicated and then simplify it. It can't fit through there though. I'm gonna have to switch those to thin ones. Looks like a spaceship now. Yeah, that should work. Oh, I need to open that. That should be quite functional. Just needs to be simpler. That's going to be way too much work to build that. Might as well give it a go though. But, yeah, I also can't fly my own Desmo through there now, but maybe I could fly around it and trap it that way. Oh, it's not following me. Got distracted. I mean, that was quite easy. Should we do that again? Let's just spawn a new one. It's very easy to get it in there. Oh, maybe not. Would be a lot easier if I could fly through. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem that having to fly around the side. Destroy my target. There it is. But yeah, the funnel definitely works. It's just can a terra fly through? Yeah, it would be able to, yeah. Easily. And a snow owl. And an Argy would even fit through there. basically anything other than a Desmo. But it's not good for on foot. Awkward to get through there. I could switch those for the other ones though. Which might help. Slightly. No, maybe not. Still awkward to get through on foot. So that's one problem. Got potential as this idea. Just wondering whether that would help at all. Like if it flies perfectly central, it's not going to help. I'm wondering if it's like slightly to either side, which it's normally going to be slightly to the side. Maybe it will get pushed into here. I don't know, maybe it won't. Do the quarter slope proof turn to triangles? The quarter slope proof. The quarter sloped ones are on the square one for some reason. I don't know why. Bit weird how they've organised all these structures. I don't think that's going to help much. How can I make sure? How can I fly through there without the one following me flying through? Let me just see what kind of height they fly at. It's slightly higher than me. Just very slightly higher. So that means we can take advantage of that a little bit. Do the top with the same triangle as bottom. Doesn't really help with the problem though. I don't really want this here because it's going to be in the way, but just for the sake of testing. Actually, that can't go there for what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get something where let's put that there instead. I'm thinking if I was to have some kind of guide there so I'm not going too low down. It's not really going to make any difference, is it? I think the only way it's going to work. Problem is I'm trying to cater to flying in and running in. Like I could have a ramp that forces this up. I was considering this earlier. Get this on here. And this on here. There was a ramp there. You can go like that. And then with the flyer, you'd have to like fly down. But it's just not very easy to do that. It's a bit awkward. If there was an easier version of that though. Okay. Well, at the speed it's flying, what if I just like... What if this didn't go as high as that? Hang on, hang on. Maybe I'm onto something here. What if this was just like... here, or maybe it doesn't even need the ramp. I run under there. I can actually run under there. it was that height and that like bumped the Desmo up, like if it hits that, that didn't really work, but I don't think I really hit it then. It was to just didn't really seem to work. It's kind of hard to. Yes, it'll let me get one spawned and see what happens. That was a bit too high then, anyway. What went in? I don't know. I don't really like that. Why does it do that? So stupid. What about just like that? I can fly down. But then this probably... Oh, that made it go too high then. Yeah, it's like making it fly up high. That kind of works, I think. Just doesn't seem like a good solution, though. The lower slant wrap. Yeah, might be slightly better, but I just don't like the idea in general. Just seems like it's not the way to go. You should see what this would be like. It'd have to be... No, that'd have to go there, wouldn't it? Need to be like that. I think it's going to fit through there, though. Don't know if it'll fit through that. I don't think it will. No. Could use the other triangles though on there. That probably works. Still a bit tricky to fly down. Maybe I need to abandon the idea of using another Desmo. It'd be nice if I could, but it might not be worth it. There's like an owl trap with a box of thin pillars, maybe. Something like that could work. Is that the one that I made? It wouldn't really help in this situation, though. That's kind of what we've got going on with this, but like forcing it to be as low as possible, so we've got as little obstruction as possible. Is this DLC worth picking up at the moment? Depends if you're into this kind of thing. I mean, I think most people are enjoying it, but it's not cheap. So if I sacked off the idea of using a Desmo, let's say we'll use an owl instead. What does that mean for us? The thing is, like, it's not as good because you can't fly it in the cave, can you? That's why Desmo's better. Which means you're probably going to be doing it on foot. I don't think any other flyer's much help, really, is it? I think it's got enough content on the minimum end to be worth the money. Yeah, it's got plenty of content. It probably is worth the money. Flight agents in caves, and that's unofficial. I didn't think you'd be able to fly them in. Is it just this map where you can fly stuff in? Of the not disabled flyers in the caves on this map? Just on Lost Colony. Interesting. So, if we were to do that, I still want to cater to being on foot as well, though. But it would mean... So, let's just do this for a start. It would mean we can... Ideally, I'd like to be able to run straight through on foot. But we need to prevent the Desmo from doing that. Probably because there's no artifact caves. That makes sense. That doesn't help. That's the wrong way around. Oh, it's a tricky one, is this? Should be nice to have a nice simple funnel for it to get in. Could go like this. And then would have to have... Right, unless... Hang on. This wouldn't be a horizontal funnel. Or it would be a vertical funnel. If we were to go like this, and I didn't want to use railings like this, but it might not be the end of the world in this scenario. That one didn't go on the sloped thing. Or maybe even using the walls could be easier. More expensive, but I don't really like using these railings. But that would help a lot. We can fly straight through with anything smaller than a Desmo. That's going to force it in from... I mean, as long as you're within, like even if you hit it here, it's going to force you into the center. Like that. And then there's like no obstruction there. That works quite nice. The other option, if I don't want to use these railings, is... Depends if these snap points work as well, I don't know. That works. Yeah, that works. That's the other option. Let me just compare the cost. I don't think it's much different actually, is it? Or is it exactly the same even? That's exactly the same. Same cost. It's just that you're using two different types of structures there, but they're way easier to place. Well, I wouldn't say way easier actually. Those triangles, you've got to get them the right way around. You have maybe yeah, you have to use cycle in snap point. That's the problem with that. you can't get it unless you press Q to cycle. I can't really be having that. I can't rely on that. People just don't understand that snap cycling is a thing. That's what you were thinking earlier when you mentioned railings. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't really like to do it, but it's not the end of the world. It's just... And it's possible to get it without snap cycling at least. Put another quarter wall on there. Like that, and then like that. As long as this doesn't interfere, it's okay. We'll test it out. That is easier to place. It shouldn't interfere much. It's just a question of whether that's like in the way a little bit. I was saying put another quarter wall. Get the triangle to snap right. Oh. Yeah, but I don't really want to be placing structures that I don't need. Need to keep the structures down to a minimum. I snap. Oh. Oh. What's that snap point there? Oh. 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 I like that. That's nice. Oh, I like that very much. That's lovely. Very clean entry, yeah. That should be nice and easy to use that. The only downside is we can't fly a tamed Desmo in, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. Can we simplify this any further? Let me just confirm something. I don't think this works, but just want to check. We can't... No, they don't snap to those. Does it snap to a thick one? Sometimes the thick ones are different to the thin ones. Sometimes these don't place properly either. There we go. No, doesn't snap to those. Just trying to think of a way that I can get rid of these sloped walls. They seem a bit unnecessary, those. Will Bat keep picking you up in that kind of trap? That's the question. Yeah, it should do. Yeah, basically what Sherlock said. It looks cool, doesn't it? A bit complicated, but I like the look of it. Should we give it a go? Has that gone in properly? Yeah, it has. Where are you going? Oops, it got out. Blew out just before I did that. I was messing around for too long then. See if we can get it again. There we go, that should be trapped. Let's see what happens. Seems okay so far. Never tamed bats with a trap, only done it natural like most dinos. Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes that's the most fun way. Star Wars fighter trap, it does look like that kind of thing, yeah. Building something that will allow you to build effectiveness with a dino and keep bat contained. Yeah, it's a lot more controlled doing it this way. Takes a bit of extra work to build the trap first. It's just a question of whether this actually works now doing it on... I really need to test it on an official server. I might see if Ras wants to give it a test with me. Because I know he's playing on official. He's just started on a new server today. He was trying to tame one the other day with a bit of a junky trap, so he might be interested in giving it a go. Will it pick up a Moz chops from there? It will, yeah. I like to use Daedon though. They're a bit stronger. I think everyone just uses Moz chops because that was like someone made a tutorial on it very early on when the Desmo came out and people didn't realise they could pick up Daedons. But Daedon's actually better in my opinion. And they can heal themselves. Also, Happy New Year. Thanks. How's your year going so far, Rebel? Has it been a good first day of the year? Problem I saw when Ras tried to trap a Desmo, it meshed his mouse trap. Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to do this with it up higher off the ground so that it can't mesh you or the creature. It did on so much. Yeah, we'll give it a go in a sec. I need to escape from this stuff first. It keeps picking me back up. Let's try and actually get away. I can. Oh, there we go. That works. Jellyfox, hello. Hi, Captain. Hope you are doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing? It's been a while. Good luck on official 4 to 500 ping. Struggling taming low level bats. Oops. I should have whistled that in instead of riding it in. Since they won't really pick you up again. Will they not? Very chilled. There we go. We'll just leave this for a minute watching it. I might just speed it up a little bit. not been playing for a while? Is that, did you get sick of it or you just not had time? It seems okay so far, does this? I think that might have hit the structures then, but it's, I mean, for a rare instance like that, I don't mind. I'm thinking that's okay. The only question I've got now is whether I can simplify this. I can't get rid of these walls because it will actually fit between these roofs. It needs the walls there. But those walls don't necessarily need to be there if I can think of a better way to connect that up. I just don't think there's anything. I mean, they're not exactly expensive, those. It's like the cost of two of those together is only one wall. It's like four walls between all them. It's not major expensive, and these aren't expensive, particularly. Are they 30? I think they're 30. Stone, that is 30 stone. Where they're gone? Oh no, they're 40. Is that the same as a wall? Yes, they're a bit more than I thought actually. They're same as a wall. It's a bit daft making them 40. Because they're like see the ceiling's 30, but that's 40. This one's 60, but the ceiling's also 60, so it doesn't really make sense for that to be 40. Oh well. Not much I can do about it. Can I get rid of any of the beams then? Like the only other thing I could do is like separate these structures off from the other ones, but then it's going to get like messier to build. It's better to just leave it how it is, I think. Yeah, I think that's probably ready for testing on a server. Yeah. I can't think of much else to do to that. The only other change I would possibly make is move this support, the pillar, move that to the front here. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just thinking that would allow me to do... I'll do it on the other side. That would allow me to do stairs like that. Which would be ever so slightly... No, I don't want that there. That can't go there, can it? Because that's too close to the Desmo. That's going to obstruct its feet. We can't be having any foot obstruction. I realised the way I've done these pillars is better than the way I did it before. Do I still have that one I did before? It was like this before, but it's better the other way because then you've got one less beam to obstruct the feet. You've only got the two beams, the beams on either side now, which is better. Right, let's see what the chat's been saying. I was having crashing issues last year. That's not very, doesn't really tell me how long ago, because last year could be yesterday, or it could be 364 days, whatever it is, ago. Will that trap eliminate you TPing when Desmo can't fly you off ground though? Elemente. Will it element? I'm guessing that's eliminate. Eliminate you TPing when Desmo can't fly you off the ground. Do you mean if you go under the mesh and it TPs you? The anti-mesh? Is that what you're thinking of? Pretty clean and good looking too. Yeah, I would like something simpler, but I don't think I'm going to get much simpler than that. Spelled wrong, you know, when you're halfway underground. Yeah, hopefully that's not going to be an issue. It should be high enough off the ground, this, that you don't go underground. Let's see if I can get that out of there. And I'll demonstrate that I don't go underground. There we go. So it should be just about high enough that you don't get meshed. I could do with testing it to make sure with a taller character, but I think it's going to be okay. Could actually do that now. Well, I can't really test it on single player because it doesn't have any anti-mesh, but character. Why have I got no hair? That looks so stupid with no hair. It's the new face as well that's making it look funny. Bear, that's what we need. Change character. There we go, we're bear now. So it seems to be high enough off the ground, I think. I don't think that's going to be classed as meshing. Should be fine. But yeah, we need to give it a go on official. I was thinking that might be over a year now. I couldn't play because of the crashing continuous. I'm hoping it's fixed now. Yeah, I'll have to give it another go. It's come on a long way, really. Like, I know people are always complaining that they never fix anything, but they have actually made like huge improvements to the game in the last couple of years. Hopefully we can get some next time we play. Yeah, we'll have to give it a go, Jim. What did you say you're doing tomorrow, Jim? Did you say you're playing on the server tomorrow, or did you say you're doing something, a different stream? Yeah, that's pretty much it then, I suppose. Has anyone got anything else they want me to test or anything before we leave it for the day? Love to see you doing a trap like this. Almost every job I've ever used in our has been one of yours. They always work for me. That's good. Seems to run better now. Fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, there we go then. I suppose I could come out of creative mode and test it properly, but I don't know, maybe it's better to just wait until I try it on another server, on a proper server. No. Destroy wild dinos. So let's make a template of that and just see what structures this is. I'll count up the structures for us. Create. Do I need a... I don't know if I need to do a snap override for this or not. Trap. Desmodus. Oh, I could have read it off that list then. Trap Desmodus. So, one ceiling, 12 pillars, 2 roofs, 8 walls, 4 triangle roofs. Yeah. It's not the simplest trap, but it's alright. And I mean, you've only got to build it once outside the cave or inside the cave if you can build inside the cave. And then you're done then, aren't you? That's the thing with like specific spawn zones. You can make the trap a little bit more complicated. It's like Wyvern trap. You can make that more complicated because you only need it in one location. Whereas something that spawns all over the place, you're going to want a simpler trap because you're going to need to build it multiple times. Now learning how to play again. Tomorrow is my giveaway. Depends on time you get on. I start from 8 PM. I'll play Ark till midnight, then Ark Raiders after to end. So you can play Ark till midnight. Ark with a K, that is. Has the door to be open while trapping? Yeah. Yeah, you've got a... oops, that was the wrong thing, but never mind. Yeah, you've got to have this open, and then it flies in, and then you close that, and that kind of like pinches it in. I've never done one like that before. It's new to me, is that like where closing the door pinches it in. I'm normally opening the door like that to block stuff in. Well, if it was the other way around. But yeah, I've not done one this way around before. The first time for everything. I don't think there's any other ways I could do that. Maybe something with a secret door. No. It's just going to obstruct it, innit? No. This is the best way to avoid any, like, obstruction around here. Like, just having these beams is, like, the minimum we can have here. And I don't want to interfere with that, so it means we've got to have the door up top. Joined later, sorry for asking. No worries. Looks great, and I did not hurt, right? What do you mean, did not hurt? You didn't hurt me. Just curious, will it not work at the door? If the door opens down, you mean like if it was the other way around? That's what I was trying before. But no, it doesn't work because it stops it from getting into the trap. Like if this is closed, imagine this is rotated 90 degrees. In fact, I can just place it for demonstration purposes. So I assume you mean like this, and then it's so that you went like that and blocked it in that way. I think that's what you mean. But if it's like that, then it can't actually fly into here. We've lost half of the trap here. Stupid pillars. So buggy. Better redo that actually before I go placing those things. I've built it wrong as well. Yeah, that goes like that. No, I meant the way you originally had it, but open it down instead of up. Ah, what was the problem with that now? I mean, that would work. It's just that you still need like a ramp up to that to close it, which would mean having a ramp here, which would just cause a little bit of obstruction to the feet. So it doesn't really achieve much. It would be one less ramp. It would be one less ramp, but yeah, I'd rather have the functionality. I'd rather pay one more ramp. And also, it means you've got to switch this to open in instead of the default open out. I'd rather just leave it on the default for the sake of a simple tutorial. Like, people always miss things like that. They're like speeding through and not watching properly. They don't notice things like that. They just look at what the build looks like at the end, and if it looks the same, they expect it to work. So I'd rather it be like that. But it's a good question. What was Fullite saying? Could you make the ramp up to the door face the back instead of the side? I guess that would require one more pillar probably. You mean on here? Coming down this way? Is that what you're saying? I'd be one of the ones to mess it up. Yeah, you wouldn't believe some of the things that some people mess up on. I had a comment on one of my videos that made me laugh. Someone had commented saying that you should give credit to Captain Fat Dog who made the trap and made it better. So I replied back saying, I am Captain Fat Dog. I don't know what the mix-up was there, but they were defending me against myself. Yes, coming down that way, but off to the side. Ah, so do you mean like if you had a ceiling there? Are you thinking if you had a ceiling and then ramps coming down there? Is that what you're thinking? Aren't you cutting space for the term that raises efficiency that way? All you do is take it underneath and it'll just pick that up. That's what you're asking. I don't know if you saw that part. I did demonstrate it. It'll pick the term up from the ceiling or pillar, yeah, so the bat doesn't turn sideways when you go up. It's wrong actually. That's supposed to be a thingy. You do raise a good point. Worth considering. Good question. I mean, I didn't have any major issues with going up this way. But maybe. Or I wonder... no. Actually, maybe. Hang on. Let me just try something else. What if we did triangles obstructed? Is it the pillar? Must be the pillar obstructing it. No, that's going to be in the way there. That didn't work. Official lag. Hello, Mr. Fat Dog. Thanks for all the great traps. No problem. Thanks for thinking the traps are great. I don't know why I'm still bare. Better. Yeah. It is a good point, that. Or what about... Problem is I can't pick that up. I need to give this some new support. Let's just stick that there and then I can get rid of this. Or maybe not. Ridiculous. Oh, that wasn't meant to go there. Like that. Goes like that. Good thing you made a template, yeah. Wanna party like it's 1999? Why we're partying like it's 1999? Template build it, make sure it snaps right. I want to build it slightly different though. I've forgotten what I was going to do now though. What was I going to do? I had something in my head that I was going to try and I've forgotten what it was. Was it this? Might have been this. Requires nearby foundation support. I don't really know what I'm trying to achieve here, though. It's just... doesn't really achieve anything, does it? Don't want that there because of that corner sticking down there. What else have we got? It doesn't really help at all, does it? I think I've got to that point where I'm overthinking things. It would be easier doing it that way. Oops. That's another option. It's slightly cheaper, but then I don't have any of these used anywhere else, do I? So I don't really want to be adding extra types of structures. I already had a ceiling used for the cellar door. What are you on about, Luke? Quarter stairs right off the front. What you mean off here? You're saying about quarter stairs coming down here? With official server, I can see myself running right off. Could always have a railing on it. Get some railings around there. Make it all nice and pretty. That probably is better functionally that way. I wouldn't say there's much in it though. Like it's going to turn once you get to this point. Just makes it slightly easier. But it is at the cost of a ceiling. So, I don't know. Put my drawing in Discord, hang on, I'll have a look. Got all kinds of drawings going on in Discord. What I was talking about with extra... Oh, pillar out. A beam. Reminds me how you can't deselect this without... with Q. Yeah, because I was thinking you were talking about... Although you wouldn't even need that, would you? I don't think. Doesn't that snap to that? That snaps to that anyway. Just a question of how easy that is. I mean, it works. I don't know if I'm a massive fan of that. I think I'd rather walk all the way in front of it. Feel like that's a bit... I don't know. If you were in a panic... feel like you'd end up running off end of there. Or you might struggle to open that, like get it the right angle to do it with a bit of lag and that. I don't know. Let me try it this way again. I think I need to test a bit more of whether it's actually an issue having it this way. Because especially with this big entrance, it's not going to fly out of there easily. Like, it's got to want to fly out this way. Just going sideways isn't really going to be an issue. Even if it slips a little bit this way, it shouldn't be a problem. I always just make that change for myself. Yeah. So, hang on, let's just use this template. Oh, I keep going on the wrong thing. That's not a template hammer. Let's see if it builds okay. Oh, has it got stuck? It's got stuck. What's going on? Why is it not placing these? It says they can place, but it's not placing them. Weird. Should we try that again? Let's See if it gets stuck on the same bit again. Yeah, it's getting stuck there. It's not even like aborting it, it's just stuck. Strange. Anyway, that's a job for me to figure out another day. For now, let's just get this back to how it was. Oh, I wonder if it's because I flipped those structures. I didn't place them down how they naturally place. That might be why. So I wanted them to look pretty. Anyway, that's that. That's not gone. Oh, because the thing's not open. Silly. Come on, come back. Come on. Whatever. Get a new one. Right, so if I go to the side here, it's just kind of staying there. It's not, doesn't seem too bothered. I think it'll only get out if it decides to fly that way. I don't think it's going to get out from just following you sideways kind of thing. Remake the template with dummy foundation support. Templates don't like some weird structures or many unsupported ones like that foundation. I'll do some testing later. I think it might be to do with me flipping those structures. But that's something for me to sort out my own time. You don't need to watch me do that. It's not particularly interesting. If you're leading it with a flyer, wouldn't it focus on the flyer once you get off to shut it? I don't know. We could try. Let's destroy wild dinos. Let's give it a go, see what happens. Alright. You follow me. That one's certainly still looking at the owl. Ah, it eventually lost aggro and flew out. But yeah, it was looking at it for a little bit. Yeah, there you go then. There's more trap for you. Right, I think that's it from me for today. Let's see whose stream we can raid. I forgot last time. I realised after I finished the stream. Where's this now? Stream settings. Redirect. Tell you what. Rascalak doesn't need the extra viewers. He's got millions already, but we're going to raid him just to tell him that we've got a functional Desmo trap. And we'll tell him that we need to test it on official with him. So I'll see you all over there. Have fun out there. Bye.